If you have limited technology in your classroom, Plickers is a really great app in order to still do responses and to keep your class engaged for your whole lesson. Um, a lot of teachers use it in their classroom. They are paper clickers versus having the device where, like with Kahoot or quizzes, they can click their answer. They have a piece of paper that's almost like a QR code that is zoomed in on, and each side represents A, B, C, or D. Each student looks a little bit different, so they can't tell who's answering what answer. Kind of like with whiteboards, they could look off of another student's whiteboard and then copy down their answer and pass it off as their own. You have to have an app on your device in order to scan their cards. The app is free to download. Obviously, data charges would apply if you don't have Wi-Fi at your school. Um, it is useful in every classroom. Most teachers use it as formative assessments. They use it during their lesson or after their lesson as an exit slip. You can also use it as a warm-up in your classroom or as a refresher or review for your class. The app is available on the iTunes, on the App Store, and with Google Play. So you have to have the Plickers app. If you don't have it, then you really aren't going to get much out of it. So you have to have the app. And only the teacher needs the app. Students don't have to download anything. They don't have to have a device in front of them. You're the only one that needs the app. Then you're going to print cards after you create your class, which is so simple on their platform. You're going to print their cards and give them to them. The really nice thing, so you can get them off of Plickers.com and you can just download them and then you print them off. Each side represents a choice and you then give them to individual students. And a lot of times I've had teachers say not to laminate them, but put them on cardstock. The lamination, sometimes the shine of your lights off the lamination made it hard for them to scan, they figured out. So very simple. Once you sign up for free, you would add your class. Just the plus sign, you add it. It asks for a few specifics about your classroom. You go in and add your student, and then afterward you print your roster, and then you can go up to cards right here. And after you do the cards, then it will print out the ones that you need. You can add your questions. There's a library up at the top. You add your own questions, and then it gives you where you choose your correct answer. After you've added your questions, you can do multiple choice or true false questions. You can add images. So if you have a map and you want to include that, you can also do that as well. Then each of your students holds up their card. And whenever they hold it up, if it shows up correct, if they just chose the right side, their answer, their name will come up in green. And if they're incorrect, they will come up in red. If you don't get their scan, it will show up, I believe, white, or it won't show up at all. And then you can catch those students that you didn't get scanned and rescan them. You can stand in the front of your room and scan their cards, and all of them will register. That's what's really nice about it, too. You don't have to go around to each desk in order to get them to scan. So after that, you would choose on your mobile app, you would choose your questions, and that's what advances your questions through. You can scan them, and then there's a live view tab on the website whenever you pull it up on your computer, and you can project that up onto your smartboard or on your projector, and then students can see in real time what it looks like. And this is what it does. It puts a graph up that looks like this, and it shows how many students answered for each question, and then you can talk about your results. So you can share those results, you can talk with your students about them, and then here are some of the resources that Plickers has accessible. It's a great resource for you if you don't have a lot of technology accessible in your own classroom for students to use individually. It's something different for students to use and exciting for them to use. I think a lot of kids really get a lot out of it. It is kind of nice sometimes to unplug from the technology so that they, can do something a little bit different without having the screen in front of them. And also it's a really great method of formative assessment because of the whole point of them not being able to tell what the other person has written or clicked or, something that they've done on their screen. So again, they're great on Twitter. If you follow them, they're at Plickers. They respond. They have a really great community. So I recommend following them on Twitter as well. Thank you so much for following my Under 5, and I'll see you next week.